Alright guys, this is how to F10 M5. If you're ever considering getting into a F10 M5, please take a look at this video. I'm going to teach you the ins and out of maintenance, and then we'll get into mods and the good stuff. To start off, obviously, we're going to do maintenance before mods, right? This is a S63 TU motor. First thing you're always going to want to do is religiously do oil changes on this car. I do them every two and a half K miles. If you really want to push it 3,000 miles, and you're going to want to use Redline 5W50. It's the best oil for this motor. People always say, oh, OW30, BMW recommended, Liqui Moly 5W40. Please stay away from that junk. Stick with Redline, or there's another one, Motul 300. Those who are concerned about, oh, it's cold weather, oil is too thick, please, I have people who, live in the coldest parts of the country running 5W50 year round. Yes, the car is going to take a little bit longer to get up to those operating temperatures, but you'd rather be safe than sorry. Right. Now, another big thing with these cars, a lot of the new modern vehicles, they warm up pretty quick. These cars, you got to drive them about 5-6 miles till they fully really get up to operating temperatures. Until you see that needle move up, please keep it in comfort. Just keep driving it normal. Wait till it warms up properly. Then you could beat the shit out of it. I mean, you've seen my videos. I beat the piss out of this thing every single time I drive it, and I don't look back. Now, with that being said, you gotta properly warm the car up, and you also have to properly cool the car down, right? You can't just beat the shit out of the car, park up, turn it off. Yes, these cars have really good cooling systems. You could hear the fans going for a couple minutes after you drive this thing hard, but whenever you're like 5-10 minutes away from wherever you're gonna be stopping, put it back in comfort, cruise. There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to this motor. Oh, rod bearings this, rod bearings that. Yes, there's been some anomalies, I guess we could say, but the rod bearings on this motor will only fail when you have injector failure, right? Injectors will leak, wash the cylinder, thin the oil, and then yes, you could say goodbye to the rod bearings. I did buy this car pre-owned. Previous owner did maintain it very well. They did do the injectors, but that was about 30,000 miles ago, so it's coming up on that time where just preventive maintenance, I'm going to do them again before summer. I'm sick and tired of seeing all these people online, oh, do this, do that. Listen, it's very straightforward. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but if you really dig and do your research, you'll realize these motors are really good. It's my favorite M motor I've driven so far. Spark plugs, coil packs, O2 sensors, mass airflow sensors. This is just basic maintenance, even on a Honda you would end up doing. Yes, a mass airflow sensor is like 150, 200 bucks. That's just the name of the game when it comes to an M car. Now, if you are tuned, right, like I am, I drove the car for about a year, stock, more than enough power, especially around the city. I did want a little bit extra. I went stage 1, BM3, off-the-shelf tune. Raises the PSI a little bit, gives you a little bump in power. Without a proper tire setup, you will blow the tires off this car, 4th gear, rolling burnouts easily, which is extremely fun, especially paired with the DCT. But yes, this car, if you are going to tune it, just keep a moderate tune on it. Don't go with these crazy boom tunes, flame tunes. I mean, you're just asking for spark plugs. I went with the Bosch OEM. They've been completely fine, no issues, no misfires. You change them every 6,000 to 10,000 miles. With coil packs, you don't really need to change them that often, unless you're getting misfires, you pinpoint the issue. Now, one other failing point that I have realized on this car is the power steering pump. Now, these cars still use, power steering. Unlike the new vehicles, they're all electronic. Completely different feel, but this is a very, very heavy car, so they do, tend to leak. You can find refurbished ones for a couple $100, or you're gonna just have to end up biting the bullet and spend $1,500 on a new pump. Like I said, that's just the name of the game, so you gotta go. One last thing, these cars do come factory 20-inch wheels, 295s this came with. I would not be able to catch traction for the life of me, even on stock motor, stock tune. This thing just spins and spins. So I went with a 305 30/20 in the rear, and I kept the same front tire size, 265 35/20. Still need to warm the tires up for it to hook, obviously. I mean, the car makes about 650, 670 right now. So it's still gonna spin, but way better than the 295s. And you don't mess up the transmission with this tire size. I do know some people go 315. They try to run a bigger size. You can run into transmission issues, but not least, in my opinion, one of the most important parts of owning an M car is not only keeping up with the maintenance, but please don't let the car sit for long periods of time. That's when you'll start running into issues. These cars are meant to be driven. Obviously, with the proper maintenance, you can drive the piss out of these things. I know many people who have 130, 150, 180,000 miles on their S63 TU motor, no issues, because why? They kept up with maintenance. Arguably the most important thing out the way, which is maintenance. We're gonna get into mods here now. Even though these cars are, depending on what year you have, 13 years old like mine, there's still a good amount of stuff out there on the market for this car. Stock exhaust on this car is extremely quiet. Closest representation I can give it is to a Dyson vacuum. So for exhaust for these cars, the best thing you could do for the most sound and bang for your buck, obviously, is downpipes. You go catless, you get turbo diesel, turbo spool on these things. They sound good. They do sound a bit raspy though. So we'll get into a little remedy that we can now to fix that raspiness that you do get from just doing downpipes. You can actually, pair it with an X pipe, or obviously, you can go full system. Unfortunately, a lot of people like myself can't justify spending $4,000 plus on a full system. So, me and my buddies, we did a little bit of research. Come to find out, only reason why these systems really sound so good, honestly, is longer non-resonated X pipe that they come with. So you can actually head over to meccaus.com. We develop non-resonated double and single X pipes. The double X pipe will give you a real exotic tone. 2 X crossings changes it drastically compared to a single X crossing. And obviously when you remove the resonators, you get a little louder tone. But most importantly, you get increased turbo spool and that deeper V8 raw tone that these motors are lacking with the mods. We can do some aesthetic stuff to the car. Got an M Performance carbon styled wing right here. I don't like any of the big aggressive duck bills. It's the same size pretty much as the factory paint matched one that comes on these cars. So I did like that. And when you get up close, you do see the carbon. And then down here, I have the centerpiece from RW Carbon, centerpiece diffuser. I know a lot of people, they run the full diffuser replacement. I don't know, I don't like it. It looks too bulky. I don't know, I just don't think it fits the car. So this is a lot more OEM plus, these two things here. Little mod that we have here, did some lowering springs. I do know a lot of people, they could run coilovers on this. But if you're not going KW, and keeping the EDC functions, I don't know, I just really like how you can still use the electronic suspension functions with the springs. So it drops it about 1/2 inch in the rear. And then if we go to the front, the springs will drop it about a full inch in the front. Real nice fitment. Like I said, front tire sizes are still factory. But in the rear, I did go with a 10 millimeter spacer. And yeah, like I said, the 305, I think it fits real nice. I mean, you can see the fitment for yourself. Doesn't rub at all. Thing a lot of pre-LCI owners do to the exterior, obviously, they come with, the pre-LCI headlights. So we went ahead and we did the LCI headlight upgrade. They were plug and play. They just needed some simple coating. Very easy to do. Couldn't justify spending like $3,000-4,000 on a new set of OEM ones. I heard they also burn out the ring if they're not LEDs. So these have been working fine. Shout out to Alibaba. All right, now we're gonna get into another big thing on these cars. We got some front mount intakes. They sound sick. Under load, they give a crazy blow off sound. I did go with the Arcade Tunes intakes. They've been working completely fine. There's a lot of cool different options out there for intakes. You got Venturi, you got Infinity Designs. I mean, you got, Project Gamma. They are like very similar to this. I went with RK. Have been giving me no issues. Big filters in the front. Look cool in the engine bay. Black to match, the car. So I went ahead and did, the chrome double kidney grills. They look way better. They match all the chrome accents on the car, the wheels, side vents, exhaust tips. The piece is not on the car, but RW Carbon makes a nice front lip that just fills in this gap right here. I don't have it on right now because I did crack it a couple of weeks back. I do have another one in the garage, just waiting until the weather gets nice. Like I mentioned before, this car is tuned Stage 1 BM3 off-the-shelf tune. Have had it probably for a year and a half now running this tune. Not one single issue. I can flash back to stock, whenever I need to for inspection-wise. Stage 1 is giving me no issues, more than enough power. I just don't think I want to do the jump to Stage 2. There's no point. These cars are already fast enough, and I know a lot of people that experienced issues with running higher boost tunes on the stock. Going to have the same experience when it comes to owning one of these cars. Obviously, different environments, different temperatures. Everything really affects these cars, depending on where you do live, how you do take care of it, what you have access to. But bottom line is, look, if you do your oil changes on time, use the proper oil, just stay ahead on maintenance. This car will last you until you stop taking care of it, essentially. These cars, I don't know if there's really another car out there that you can get for, under 30K with almost 600 horsepower out the factory. Something many of you have been waiting for. We'll do a little cold start. Side note though, I do have cold start delete turned off. When you're catless, there's really no point of having cold start turned on. There's no cats. You don't need to heat the catalyst up. So turn it off. Keeps the neighbors a little bit happier over here. Homeboy's looking out the window at me. Ah man, this thing sounds phenomenal. Every morning you gotta just inhale it a little bit just to remind yourself what you have parked in the driveway and remind the neighbors. A lot of people are probably also wondering, oh, BMW recommends this, BMW recommends that. Of course they recommend it because they want you back in their service center, brothers. Please. Little basic maintenance that these cars require. Eventually the PCV valves will go bad. When I did downpipes, I swapped them out. Very easy. I was already in there, so I might as well swap them out. There was a little oil buildup around it, typical for this mileage and these cars. The reason these cars really do have valve stem issues really stems from the first owner who took delivery of the car back when it was produced. If they properly broke the engine in, you really won't run into valve stem issues. And if you obviously ran the proper oil instead of OW. For all those F90 and G90 fanboys out there, where's your DCT, brother? Now, if any other F10 or F13 M6 owners have experienced maybe a different reality of owning one of these cars, I'd love to hear it. I'd also love to hear, if anybody follows these tips and tricks, if they end up, maybe resolving some of the issues you might be having. Just remember, take care of the car and it will take care of you.